Hello!
Hello,
Can you see us and
everybody.
can you hear us? The age-old
I can see
question,
myself.
can you see us, can you hear us? Let us know, can you hear Robin? Hopefully you can see
Can you
Robin.
hear me? Can you
Can you
hear
hear me,
me?
mother? Everyone's now saying, hey, we can't hear Robin, what's he saying? Now we've got to wait, we've got to wait.
Oh, I see we're behind.
What do you mean we're behind?
Oh, is that the live stream's only just done? We're just saying hello on the
Well,
live
yes,
stream.
yeah, I mean, it's 30 seconds delayed, so.
Whoa, two agents. Way. Whoop, whoop.
It is two of us. It is a Robin. You need to move your camera very slightly to your right, Robin. Centre your
Very
face.
slightly to my right.
To centre you. There we go.
That
Zach
better?
says he can see and hear us both. Well, in that case, I
Way.
apologise.
It's a Robin. Yeah, you don't get to pay extra, or we don't pay you extra for that.
A wild Robin
Being
has
able to hear us
appeared.
both.
Anybody who
Way.
was worried,
Oh,
I
oh,
had backups in case. In case Robin didn't work. I had Robin smiling. Oh, that's a nice one, isn't it? I then had Robin angry. There
arr.
you go. Comes with sound effects.
Robin cold. That was.
And then Robin, ooh. But you've just
Thank
got
you.
a live action Robin instead. You can see on my cup some letters and some numbers. Third time's the charm. It was indeed. It was indeed. But we're here. We're live.
Woo.
Hooray! So, how is everybody this evening? I hope everybody's having a lovely hobbying time. I will admit that, frankly, my hobbying's been sucky of late. Just Christmas time, December, horrible.
Yeah. This month has been well. Funny enough, this week tomorrow is the first week in ages we're not going to meet, isn't it, Pete? But actually, I'm quite glad of that because I don't like you very much. No, I'm quite glad of that because it's been such a crazy week. Most of my family have been ill.
Ugh.
I've managed to keep going, and it's just been well, I don't know. I don't know where the time's gone. Last week, I did manage to get some Grand Clash preparation in, and we built a deck. Last week, we played our Clash decks, but I've not looked at them at all since last Wednesday. It's just been crazy. I have thrown some paint on some Shore Troopers for our new Star Wars Legion season. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, you might as well bill it like it is, yeah. We'll also start putting together the Necromunda gangs for the Necromunda campaign we're never going to run. And
Yeah, we've done did a lot of that. Did a lot of that. Well, I don't know if anybody's got their new White Dwarf yet. We've got the new
Ooh,
White Dwarf.
I've never read
And
any of these. we've had the annual thing going, and I've not seen any of them. I keep forgetting to borrow them.
Yeah, you must borrow them. I kind of assume you're not terribly interested. I don't find them terribly interesting. The glory point stuff was quite interesting, but it's kind of gone off the boil a little bit. This month is about objective play,
All right.
uh, which is sort of interesting, but a bit kind of grandma sucking eggs
I was going
type
to say that's
situation.
like about 3 months out of date. Could have done with
Yeah,
that
the
maybe
problem.
October, November time.
Um, but anyway, what I was going to say is it came with a little supplement in there
Ooh.
of 30-minute games of Necromunda, like a free gift supplement. But then it said you needed two
Oh,
other things that we only one of them we have. So the chances of ever playing that
boo.
are zero.
Well, I'm
But it's
I'm tempted to do that thing as that I sometimes do, and that probably a lot of our viewers do every now and then, which is I tend to buy supplements or books or things sometimes for parts of the games that I'll probably never play, like an army book every now
hell,
and
I
then,
buy,
that kind of thing.
I buy a whole game.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is that too. Yeah, so I was tempted
Yeah,
to buy the Gang Wars box, Gang Wars book, just so I've got them all, just so I can say if I ever decide to never play any of them, I can choose to not play all of them.
which ones you're not going to
Exactly,
play?
I've got the gamut of choice of which one am I not going to play. So I'll say hello to everybody for
Yeah,
joining us online. Thank you all. You're all beautiful people. There's a lot of, um, what's the word? My brain's gone to mush recently. God, it's terrible. A lot of
and
familiar.
you're not even as old as
Yeah,
me. I've really found recently. I don't know whether yeah, but recently I can't remember
I
stuff.
think it's the month. I think it's December.
Yeah.
We've got lots of familiar faces. We've got Tommy. We've got Jason. We've got Tommy and Jason again. We've got Zach. We've got Vidar. We've not seen Vidar before. We've
Andrew.
got Zach again. We've got Jason, Andrew. We've got Edward. Edward. Why am I calling you Edward? Ed. We've got Ed. We've just got loads of people. Hello, everybody.
Hello,
So
everybody.
tonight is obviously we're back to our usual routine. It's question time with Mr. Marlowe. Well, he's given us plenty of questions to mull over and chat. But as always, if you've got anything you want to say, do stick it in the comments below.
Yes. Tell us how your Christmas hobbying is going, and also you could always chuck in the comments what you're asking Santa for,
Ooh, yeah.
what game product you're asking Santa for.
We always like to hear about all the stuff other people are getting to play with that we can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I've literally got nothing on my Christmas list this year for gaming wise. I'm so maxed out on what we're doing. There's nothing I need.
Yep.
No dead hands in.
Yeah, I am. I'm finding just trying to keep up with our release content right now, and we've slipped the last few weeks. We've slipped a little bit with. I think I missed doing one of the deck vids for our upcoming Snarlfangs versus Fiends match, which I think is this Friday. I want to say this Friday for all of those in YouTube land. And
I've just remembered I haven't done mine for Patreon this week.
Yeah, and I probably won't have time to do a deck for this week's Patreon either, so I apologise for all our lovely Patreon supporters who are supporting us wonderfully.
For you this week, Pete, I think the Patreon deck is just Michael Carlin's deck from the Grand Clash.
Point. So, yeah.
Just go and read his blog, which is really good. It's really good.
And he did a live chat with it wasn't a live chat. He did a podcast with a man and I can't remember the other gentleman. Jonathan from Path of Glory, and he talked about his deck on there and how the games went and how the whole tournament went, and everything like that. And that was a good read as well. And I tried to use what he said in that as a guide to how to play the deck, and I kind of sort of worked, kind of didn't, don't know.
Well, Jason's asked a question. Do you think Ripper's Snarlfangs force a player away from typical meta in that they don't mesh well with the existing meta tactics?
I think so.
I think potentially, but I think they're a bit isolated at the moment. I do see what you're saying there, Jason, but I feel that they're too on their own to kind of. I mean, they do force you away from the current typical meta, I think, but at the same time, I think you haven't got to worry about them at the moment because they're a bit niche. And they're not. I don't find them in our games. They're not very reliable. I mean, they can be absolutely monstrous. So those who've watched the second Patreon game this week,
we saw one model which chew up about 2/3 of the glory you earned the entire game in one turn.
But they're just not, for me. They're not reliable enough. I like to minimise my luck.
Minimise your luck.
Reliance on luck, I should say. And Jason says he's worked up a deck that focuses on the hunter quarry synergies. Just need an opportunity to play. I'd be interested to see that. I think I tried to do that, but I don't remember there being quite so many hunter quarry. I kind of tried to pack in as many extra glory things as possible.
Like the amber bow, axe,
so I think
and
you
hammer
want to maximise every hit and kill. You want to maximise to get the glory payoff, especially as you've already got 3. Potentially only 3 attacks in each round if you end up having to charge.
The thing I find a real trouble with the Snarlfangs is a lot of their cards rely on saying at least 2 people stand next to something, or 3 in some cases, having 3 people live, and you only have 3 warband members, and it's really tricky to pull that off. I mean, I know they all have 4 wounds, so they're a bit tougher than the average bear, but at the same time, they only have 1 shield, which turns into 2 dodges, so they're not quite as tough as your average Stormcast player. They're not a huge faster either.
Get them inspired and get I've forgotten the name of the card. See, that's my memory going. The one that gives you an extra dodge. No, not boss hat. The one that gives you an extra dodge.
Spectral armor.
Spectral armor. Yeah. If you can get that on them, they start to get pretty menacing. But it's getting them to that point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't enjoy playing with them yet. Maybe there'll be more cards which support that type of play. I'm not keen on the fact that you have to try and get these supports in. Like you said, Pete, you only got 2 other members to actually support you in the first place.
It gets really tricky. Jason, if you have TTS and you fancy a game and you want to try out that deck, then do let me know, because I'll be chatting up you Patreoners, see if anybody wants a game tomorrow, because I'll be all alone. Robin's going off to watch. What are you watching, Panto or? No,
Panto was this weekend. Okay. I'm going to my children's carol concert.
Oh, okay.
It's been moved from election night because school is closed on election day.
Which is kind of fair enough.
It's a polling station. So it's been moved from election night. So Boris basically has messed up
God damn it, Boris.
Agents of this week.
Not that we want to get political on this channel, but there's another reason to vote against him.
We have somebody from Germany. Hi, Ika. Nice to see
We've
you.
had a few. Well, we've always had a few people from around the globe supporting us on Patreon. We had another member recently join from South Africa, which is very nice to see. I always love seeing from all different countries where everyone is. So do give a shout out from where you are if you're not just in Blighty. Not that we have a problem with that, Blyther. Love a bit of Blighty. Yeah, Jason, do look into TTS. You can. The game TTS itself is a Steam game, and that costs money. The add-on, which gives you Underworlds, is free. It's obviously not endorsed by GW in any way, so you do have to go to the Discord and find it. But it's dead simple to install. It's that easy.
Dave,
even Robin managed.
You get extra. You get all sorts of things on Tabletop Simulator. Yes. There's all sorts of games available for it, and they quite often not good if you want to get on and play Underworlds down, but they quite often have a sale on. So it's worth putting it in your watch list, and then because I got it for half price. When I did pick it up.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. If you don't need it immediately, don't buy it straight away. Wait until you see it on sale, because there'll be a sale. Because it's Steam, they're always on friggin' sale at some point.
Gareth is in. He's loving Rippers at the moment. He's also made a Morflight deck that attempts not to fight or inspire. That really annoys aggro.
Funky. So
yeah, does that?
So they intend to not inspire themselves. I guess they can't because they have to go through people to do that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting though, because the meta isn't particularly aggro at the moment. So like my Gitz Grand Clash deck would be very happy with that. They enjoy the not getting involved. I think so. It'd be interesting to see whether that works.
Yeah, could be quite interesting. I have wondered about. I've been toying with the idea, and this is one of the questions actually we can come on to. Let's crash on with a few questions from Marlowe.
Chase says, "Yeah, I know that. It's just getting to use the computer." I hear you, Jason.
We bought brand new, spanky, shiny computers, and Robbie can't get near his.
Yeah, it's like it's like because the computer's in the dining room, which is where I am now, just opposite me, and there's always something going on in here. It's very hard to sit down. I'm just not going to do any chores while you're doing the ironing, darling. I'm just going to play this game with Pete. Is that all right?
It's surprisingly.
I bet you do that way. Yes, I'm doing it every night now. Sorry about that.
It's surprisingly how aggravated they get when you say that as well. They get really angry. Yeah. And maybe yes, you can see the point why. Okay, I guess you got a point there. What I was going to say something just then. No, I wasn't. I was going to re-say. David says hi. Hello, David. So let's crash on with questions time with Marlowe. So our first question in the list is: do you think that trying to score Method in the Madness is a fool's errand or a stroke of genius? Which one is Method in the Madness?
Excuse me.
Which one's Method in the Madness? I can't.
Method in the Madness. Excuse me a minute.
Mute your microphone, man.
That's a live nose.
Disgraceful.
It's the problem with doing streaming in December. I'm literally streaming.
Method in the Madness. Trying to find it now.
Method in the Madness is taking somebody out with a spell attack. Not a spell. The spell that scatters.
Oh right. Or using the scatter. Does it have to be a spell that scatters, or just the scatter template?
No, the scatter template one is a different card that also has madness in it. When I was talking to Andrew behind the scenes on Patreon, I got the card model up too. That's called Mayhem.
Oh right. Yeah.
I think. But Method in Madness, yes, Andrew, it is madness to build a deck around that or whatever. What was the actual question?
Is it a fool's errand or a stroke of genius to try and score it?
Well, I actually think it's a stroke of genius. If you can make it work, it's pretty cool. Nobody will be looking for it. Andrew and I have been talking about deck ideas behind the scenes on Patreon, which is one of the little bonuses you get because we love to talk to people behind the scenes on Patreon. And we've been talking about decks, and he's made this amazing Eyes of the Nine deck, which he's bringing to the Grand Clash, I believe. He says he can make it work. So to me, it looks like madness. But, Jason, I think it's 2 instant glory, isn't it, Andrew? I think it's 2 instant glory off the top of my head.
It is 2 instant glory, yes. Yeah. I don't know about that. I mean, that's not a lot of glory, is it? I mean, you could get. I don't know. It's tricky.
It's not temporary victory, is it? That's what we're saying.
Yeah, correct. It's not temporary victory. It's definitely not temporary victory.
This is good. David, you'll be pleased to know that Infestation isn't in my Grand Clash deck. I took it out.
You've taken Infestation out, have you?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was quite fun, that one.
It was really fun, but it's not worth it for for a Grand Clash deck. Like, I haven't scored it again.
You'll get one game where you'll score it, and you'll be like,
yeah.
It was worth it just for that one game. And another one here. What's the worst card combination you've created? Well, I'm a bit of an expert on this. Well, actually, card combination. I don't know if I've got a specific card combination, but I'm very good at putting objectives in my deck that I can't then score. I've done that before.
I know I always end up talking about this, saying I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But mine was definitely in the Grand Clash. And soon, when I talk about it, I'll have to differentiate which Grand Clash
The
I
first
mean.
terrible Grand Clash, or the second terrible Grand Clash.
This case, I think it wasn't so much bad combos, but I had too many objectives that relied on other cards in the deck. So I think I had Cover Ground and Shortcut in there, and then not enough cards to cover those. And then also, I think I may have even had Warning Shot and Branching Fate in there as well. And so every time I couldn't get scoring of these bloody cards. I had Calculated Risk, which I could score, so that was a terrible. That's why I did so badly. That was a terrible combination of just relying on too many interrelated things in one deck.
I think if you're going to do something like that, you either need to have multiple cards to back up the objective you're getting. So if you've got something like Cover Ground, you need to have more than one way of increasing your movement. Or if you're going to go for something like a Shortcut, you need to have more than one card that's going to meet that criteria. Because if you've just got a one-to-one combination, you're probably screwed.
I think I did, but I still just found I didn't get the right card at the right time. And then, of course, your hand bricks up, and then you're stuffed.
And then you get rid of the cards that would help those objectives, and then you get the cards and the other objectives that don't mesh together either. So it's definitely a skill in this game, building a deck where all the cards interlink with each other and all help each other out. And I think that's probably one of the hardest parts of the game. In fact, we played a game, Thunderix versus the Hunt, and both decks just kind of worked. They were just nice, easy to play decks. Maybe we were lucky that the cards came out the right way, but they just sort of all the cards went together quite nicely.
You could always tell a well-honed deck if you like, because it does just play. You can just pick it up. Like that time I played Airman's deck when in the day when he won because
you've scored every single objective. I think
I scored every single objective, and it was just easy to play. It was just really good.
And I think you also with the spoiler. I think you did very well with the Grimwatch deck when you played against my Despoilers deck as well, which hasn't gone out yet.
I was trying not to give spoilers.
Not going to give anything away, but it did well. It did well.
But it was another. I mean, that was Michael's deck, and I actually changed it to reflect some of the new cards that are coming as well.
Yeah.
And it just played again. It played very nicely. Gareth said, "Do I think Gitz can cope, or do we think Gitz can cope with Rippers?" I'm not sure. I think the way I've played Rippers, I think anything can cope with him. Eyes of the Nine. Eyes of the Nine.
A diabetic, three-legged, one-eyed. Dog.
So, but I don't know. I mean, obviously, Gitz could give away Soft Glory, which is tricky. But I'd like to think that they've got enough about them to cope. I mean, they're not particularly offensive, so it's not like I'll be trying to inspire what's his name by the other two by attacking the main guy, Ripper. And I think that the Gits have got some teeth as well, with Grizzgit on possibly a couple of the weapons upgrades on people. So I think they probably can hold them. I think the Gits, if you play them right, which I'm not saying I will do, but if you play them right, I think they can give anybody a run for their money.
I think that's true. I think Gits is one of those warbands where you can really do a lot with them, and they can give. I don't know whether I've never really followed the whole tiering of warbands system, but I think they've got enough tricks up their sleeves to be tricksy in most situations. So.
Yeah, where they're susceptible is if you get one character or two characters with Tome of Offering or something like that on it,
they can bleed glory.
Gets a very easy to chew through. And also like a centre of attention on to draw them in and then kill lots of them could be pretty painful if you had Tome of Offerings on. But there are ways and means. I mean, Transfixing Stare is going to be a stable card, I think, for stopping that happening as much as possible.
I think Transfixing Stare is one of those cards that's got to be in a lot of people's decks now. I mean, it should have been before really as well, because it was pretty useful against people like Moloch and stuff. I kind of missed how good it was. But I think I used to feel like when the meta was aggro, you didn't need Transfixing Stare because they couldn't hit you if you killed them first.
But now it's much more objective based. I kind of feel like you need that because there's a few, like if somebody tools up crack marrow playing the Green Watch by getting some objectives, they've only really got crack marrow to use. If you can put a transfixing stare on him, then obviously that potentially takes him out for the rest of the turn. Wigglefish thinks Tome Gits can outscore Rippers somewhat reliably. Yeah, Tome Gits are really strong. I'm not playing them because that's too obvious a choice.
Plus, we've discussed our dislike of generally doing tome decks or that kind of all eggs one basket situation.
I just don't think I could play that like all day.
I think it could get a bit boring, yeah. And that's another reason in the why we won't ever win a glass column. We don't want to. Even if someone said, if you take this deck, you play 12 games of pretty much the same thing over and over again, you're going to win glass. I think both of us would probably say, I just don't want it that much. I don't want to spend a whole day playing the same game over and over again.
No. I mean, although obviously each deck has its play style, but yeah, I think it's kind of slightly non-interactive, the Tomes play style, isn't it? And to do that 12 times,
be a bit dull,
or however many times it's going to be, would be. I don't think I'd enjoy that.
But it's it's a legitimate tactic. Obviously, anything that works in the game, it's valid, and if people want to play that, I've not got a problem with that. I'm just not really sure I would ever.
Wigglefish doesn't like Tome either.
I always knew I liked you, Wigglefish.
He wins stuff.
Sorry.
And he wins stuff.
Yeah, he's actually good at this game. So if he doesn't like him, not like us, we just make shit up all the time. Jason also pointed out any bonus attack cards and Peerless Fighter is a waste of bloody time. Trouble is, relying on 1 in 36 chance with 2 dice is so random. Half the time you end up scoring it without actually intending to. You're just like, I've got to roll 2 dice. Oh, there's 2 crits. Okay.
Magic is never boring, Andrew said. Yeah, I mean, I've given up on Peerless Fighter. Peerless Fighter's had its day in my book.
I might take it again. I might take it in my Despoilers deck, maybe, because I do roll a lot of extra dice in some of those.
But you wanted it to be quite good deck. It's quite good.
It's not bad.
It's quite efficient.
It's not bad, yeah.
Yeah.
So the next question from Midnight with Marlowe is, which cards do you use the most when creating new decks, ploys, upgrades, and objectives? I'll go first. Ploys, I nearly always take either like Sidestep or Confusion, something like that. Almost always something like Haymaker. Upgrades, nearly always Potion of Rage goes in there, either Mutating Maul or the Larval Lance, something like that. And pretty much guaranteed always going to take Sudden Growth. Objectives wise, a lot of the warbands I nearly always take Supremacy now, because there's quite a few numbers running around, nearly always going for some kind of objectives. And the obvious one will be, I can't remember now, Calculated Risk. It's almost always in there.
Yeah, you've just reminded me there I very rarely take the Mutating Maul, but you quite often play that and What Armour, don't you?
Yep.
And I have What Armour in that Godsworn Hunt deck that was Godsworn awful. And that, again, it was another thing of not having the right people in the right places to ever bloody score it.
Jason's also pointed out the Despoilers might be quite good for the reroll.
Point,
yeah, that is actually a very good point. I could possibly, with Haymaker and Potion of Rage.
It's only a little bit better though, isn't it? It's only a little bit better chance.
Yeah, because you can only reroll a dice. I think it's not quite as good as Carthaean with his reroll any dice, but also you could do it multiple times in a turn. If you've picked up multiple, you could be rolling 1 extra dice each round. So
yeah, well, I have to try it out. Try it out on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Who wants to play me?
So what do I always include? In Beastgrave, I always include Mirror Move. And I always include Mirror Move because I couldn't include Distraction, but now I can include Distraction. So now I also include Distraction. And I really like Shifting Reflection. Though I can't remember now if it's actually still in my deck.
I don't remember seeing it in there.
I didn't play it because in one of the games I kept not being able to get. I had Swift Capture, and I had none of the tech to get score Swift Capture came out, so it didn't come out in the game. But I've changed it slightly since then. But I think I just like it as a card. I think it's just really good fun, and it's quite interesting. It's not so good for the gits, but I quite like the idea of not only scoring swift capture, but also teleporting somebody's somebody's good character before they've tooled it up. If your deck is like to tool up Grash Rack or somebody's or Crackmare, and you manage to teleport them into your backfield and kill them before they've done that. I quite like that. But yeah, so that's shifting reflection on the upgrades. I nearly always take Great Fortitude, sort of the quiet, stalwart member of the upgrade.
As well as Great Strength, I quite often take Great Strength now as well.
Yeah, I think I take Great Strength slightly less, maybe, but I definitely Great Fortitude definitely. Potion of Rage and Larval Lance.
Although you can't use them together, can you?
You can't, no.
Wigglefish has just pointed out Transfixing Stare, Distraction, Restless Prize also includes. I think Restless Prize is another one now, which is it's just great for helping you score. Yeah, I'd forgotten about it too, but it really helps you to score your own objectives when you're grabbing them, and it also can really F up your opponent when they're after them as well.
There's all sorts of good stuff. Yeah, Restless Prize is a good one.
I think Andrew pointed out that he finds it really hard to make decks without borrowing really heavily from previous decks, and I think I agree with him. I find quite often now that I have a good 10 cards maybe at least between decks now, unless I change really drastically, like objective heavy then going completely offensive. There's always a really big overlap there between them.
Yeah, you kind of have a style that you like, and even if you play, I find even if I'm playing objective or aggro, I always tend to end up a little bit of flex creeping in, and that's kind of what I like to do. So it kind of all, I suppose, because they're more consistent. I like to play the more consistent cards. I try and play off the wall things for our games, because not everybody wants to see us playing the same pool of 30 cards every week.
Want to try and keep it busy, keep it different.
Yeah, I mean, I love Andrew again. So we've been talking about it, but his ideas from behind where he gets them from, I do not know. his magic decks are just I'd never think of doing it ever, and I think I'm quite good at thinking of odd things to try, but Andrew's a whole other level. So I hope your deck does well at the Grand Clash, Andrew.
Gareth has said, are Thorns still good? Objective-wise, I always found them great and do all aggro decks with running Restless Prize, Mischievous Spirits. I reckon that could properly screw up your opponent when they're going for objectives. That kind of Restless Mischievous Spirits and Restless Prize combo.
Thorns are widely considered to be the best at the moment. Yeah, Temporary Victory has made the Thorns massively good. Because they can theoretically they can push all three members onto the first go.
Yeah, you can score two glory surge card with one activation.
Yeah, Temporary Victory is a crazy card, and it's in my objectives of I would always take. So that days I've got Temporary Victory, Scrum, Fired Up, and Calculated
Depends on the warband. Probably wouldn't always take it with like Snarlfangs or something like that.
Temporary Victory, no, but nearly every other deck.
Anything with 5 fighters or.
I even took Scrum with Snarlfangs because they need supports.
Yep.
So if you've got one support, it needs one other. Two people in as well, and that's Scrum scored.
Yeah, I think Thorns are with objective grabbing being the new de rigueur. I think Thorns have pretty much got that game. I wouldn't say they've got it completely sewn up. Obviously, they didn't win the Grand Clash. The Grimwatch do give them a pretty good run for their money, but I think they are pretty good choices at the minute.
They're very strong, yeah.
So let's crash.
I was actually contemplating taking them. Zach said Fameway Crystal is handy with objective. It is.
Yeah.
But I think I'm actually taking it out of my deck now because I find it's never quite the right time to use it, or because objective play is more prevalent.
More people
now,
are standing on objectives.
Often the people who are on the objectives.
You're
anyway.
almost better off using that other card which swaps 2 people around on objectives if you want to teleport someone into your opponent's half. Shift Reflections, yeah.
So and Shift Reflection scores you a short card as well. Whereas Fameway doesn't. I have actually gone away from shortcut because I just found a shortcut. I've gone away from Fameway Crystal because I just found that it was. I don't know. I either didn't come out at the right time or I didn't quite know when to use it. So I've taken it out.
Yep. And Andrew says he reckons. Oh no, it wasn't Andrew. Gareth says that temporary victory will end up on the restricted list. I think you're right. For 2 glory
Yeah.
surge, it's so easy for some warbands to score. I mean, Gits can score it in
Yeah.
one activation. Thorns can score it in
can.
one activation. Grimwatch possibly not, but then a lot of the warbands also have ploys which enable them to line
Well,
everybody
Grimwatch
up.
got their own version
Grimwatch
as well.
do.
So you
No.
it's like they got
Yes.
buy one get one
Sorry,
free.
Grimwatch do, and so does the Spoilers. And both of those warbands have ploy cards which enable them to push multiple other models. So you can do that in your opponent's turn, use your turn to then move somebody on to an objectives, and then bang, you scored it. So yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Andrew's final question, Pete, is something about which card should be restricted, isn't it?
His last one. Do you think any of the new cards will be restricted or banned? Yeah.
Yeah, so this kind of ties in because several people are saying that temporary victory should be on the
I
BAR
think
list.
it'll end up on that. Yeah.
And that's my one card I've got. It needs to be on there. And I read an interesting thing. I don't know if anybody reads No Gits, No Glory or whatever it's called. And where's my thread gone?
You mean the thread of thought? Because I don't think we'll ever find that.
Sorry, no, my computer just done something odd.
That's the classic phrase of people who don't understand what they're doing with computers. Oh, my computer's done something very strange. I didn't do that.
Yeah. So where are we? Yeah. So he was saying basically it should be banned, temporary victory, because there are some war bands that it's good for, that they can use it for, but then there are other ones that it's just unfeasibly good for, like Thorns and Grimwatch. He said Thorns in particular, they don't need the boost, because even if you restrict it, they don't actually. What was he basically? He was saying that if you restrict the card, then Thorns, they're so strong now with their faction specific cards and what have you that actually having a restricted card is irrelevant. They don't actually need very many restricted cards, so temporary victory won't be left out because it's so good. So the only way to get around that is to ban it, which I could sort of see. He explained it much more eloquently than I just did there. What he was basically saying was that it's so good that if you restrict it, nothing else in the restricted list is it comes anywhere near it.
Because I mean, you would take that over calculated risk easily as an objective, because it's 2 glory surge rather than 1, and no real downside.
Well, you take it over, maybe not Tome of Offerings, but you take it over Southern Growth, I think.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, if you just want to swap out an objective for an objective, I mean, it would easily beat calculated risk. Gareth was saying we're scrumming the gift pack.
Shot. If you had warning shot on your deck,
yeah, it'd be gone, wouldn't it? You'd take that instead.
Yeah, unless you were playing a three person warband.
Maybe someone like Thunderix where you can do a lot of pewing, maybe. But yeah, most other warbands would take that instead, I think. Gareth says we're scrumming the gift pack. It wasn't in the gift pack. Yeah, I think it was the ghouls. I think it was in the ghouls pack that it came in. And it's a nice. It's a fairly easy card for a lot of warbands to score as well.
Just Mostyn has said, should they restrict search objectives further, like 3 or 4 per deck?
Ooh.
And then Wigglefish says he doesn't think there are enough end phase cards for that.
I do find when you're going through, or I find at least when I'm going through and trying to make a deck up, and I run through and I pick a load of the cards, I get to a point where I've got 6 surge cards and I've got maybe 4 or 5 end of turn cards, and I'm just trying to find that 11th and 12th card, and every card I stop at I think, oh, that might be quite good. They're all surges. There's so many surge cards now.
Yeah, although funnily enough, my current my current Git deck iteration only has 5 surge cards in it. I know, which is controversial, isn't it? But I can't find a 6th that fits with how the deck's that's meant to work.
Could you not? Surely obliterated.
Yeah, but the deck isn't about that. So if you've got, for example, if you've got Mad Scurry.
All I'm saying is you've had a 100% success rate if you'd have had it right now. That's all I'm saying. Oh, you've gone very quiet. Have you done something, Robin? Oh, yeah, you are now. What did you do then?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you just move something?
I don't know what I did.
Well, you reached down. Did you move something? It looked like you reached down and moved something.
Well, I did after you said I'd gone
what
quiet.
did you move?
I twisted the microphone.
Is your connection a bit loose on your microphone, maybe?
I've got a screw loose. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm a circle. Good for you.
Good.
What else have we got in here now? So I think the only person in the whole who actually enjoyed the gift pack, I got the cards back, which I throw. Well, yeah, Andrew got his cards back after he chucked them, unfortunately.
Hey.
I have to say, I don't want to linger on the gift pack, but Man Life was that a crappy thing. I think that was
Yeah,
crap.
we've done
Yeah,
that one.
we've beaten that, we flogged that horse to death. Let's move on from there. So anyway,
Where are we on the
so
questions?
next question is which cards do you use the most when creating new decks? Oh, we've covered that one. Do you
Yeah.
think it's worth buying dice sleeves and terrain for Beastgrave? Robin loves the dice. He's a big fan of the dice.
I've got a very succinct answer here. I don't know. You probably can't read that.
What's it say there?
No.
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 No. I don't think it's.
But I'm not an add-on salesperson.
I'd say I don't think it's worth buying the dice really. Although I am a sucker for dice, I don't tend to. They're definitely not worth it. Um, Sleeves. I mean, you do need some sleeves if you want to play in tournaments. If you want to play any kind of official event, you'll need sleeves, and some.
But I wouldn't buy the thingy ones. Although apparently the new ones are better.
Yeah, someone mentioned online that the new cards are much better. The new sleeves are much better than the old ones, and you get more in a pack now, which is nice. If you buy a pack of the
Yeah.
sleeves, it will actually cover you for an entire deck, so that's much more worthwhile. Whereas before, you had to buy at least 2 packs of the sleeves to get a normal sized sort of 22 card, which is about the average out, which annoyed me.
Yeah, I think if you need sleeves, it's probably reasonable if the new ones are good quality. But
But
I
you can buy the ones from where did we get ours from? I can't remember.
Dragon something or other or Ultimate
Ultimate
Guard.
Guard, I think there might be. You can buy a
Yeah.
pack of them just as cheap online. I mean, it's nice to
Yeah.
have your logo on there, but your team colours, as it were, whatever. But yeah, that's about it.
I don't even find. I know some people like the scenery. I mean, Andrew just said he likes it. I like our little objectives that Rupert made for us.
I
They're
love them.
brilliant. But the actual GW scenery, I don't think about it. I don't particularly like playing with it. I don't know why. I don't know whether it breaks up my view of the board or what it is. I just don't. I don't really enjoy playing with it.
Yeah, Vidar says that he's promised himself he wouldn't buy the gift packs. So he's putting it on his Christmas wish list. I think it's a good way of getting
Very
it.
wise.
It's not worth a buy on
Ica
its
has
own.
asked. Ica has asked, is the gift pack worth it if I own Shadespire and the Nightvault box already? That's a tough one. You've got there's a couple of things you've got to be aware of. One is that some of the wording has changed. So cards like Cover Ground that you already own, the wording is different now, and you can't can't therefore score it from Vaneway Crystal. Agent Sleeves, Mark. We actually talked about that, Ed. Agent Sleeves. It was ridiculously expensive, I think.
Yeah, to get any kind of. Yeah, we'd have to buy hundreds of them. I think you had to buy like a run of several hundred, or you had to pay like 30 quid for a normal pack, and we decided very quickly we weren't going to do that whatsoever.
Sorry, Ike, I got distracted. So that's the first thing, and then they do get distraction in it.
Yeah, ironically.
But yes, and then the actual new cards, the Jealous Defense, I think is in there. That's probably the best card in there. That's the one you can move on to objective and make an attack, which is a pretty
as long as
tasty
you haven't
card.
got a charge token. You can have a move token, but you can't have a charge token.
You have to have a charge token, yeah. Wigglefish has made a good sleeve point there. So it's not essential. It's not. There's not like it hasn't got like a ready for action or temporary victory level quality card in there. And if you're happy to just make sure you know the wording for your games, I don't know where you play, Ico. If you're happy that you know, not that many of them are different. I think Rebound has subtly changed, but I don't think it's actually changed the function of the card that much. And so as long as you're aware of the changes, I think it's fine to do without it. Does anybody else agree? I don't think there's anything in there that's game changing that you definitely need if you've already
you get this board, which frankly is a bit
don't even
rubbish.
start on the board. I didn't know if you bought them. I didn't know you bought
Well,
them.
I wanted the cards because I'm
Oh,
a
I see.
completionist. The board itself is a
I
bit
see.
wonky, and you can't really get it to lie flat. It has a weird coating
Yours
on
looks
it.
great.
Sorry,
Yours looks
I
straight.
had been trying to bend it into shape,
I
but
see.
even then it still doesn't quite sit. And the other problem you've got is you have a really tiny area for your glory. It's like I'm not going to fit once you've got more than about six.
Board actually, the board is an insult to players. Now, what we probably could do an agent's play.
To be fair, I think this board's
a little neoprene play mat would be quite cool. I think the board is
the
an
board
insult.
is an insult to their own ability.
Waste the world's resources.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's just innocent trees went into this thing, which is frankly a bit poop.
And the massive bit of plastic that had to go around it as well.
Was offensive. But it's also an offensive thing to GW. I mean, I could make this 100 times better and put it onto like a neoprene mat. Well, billions of people. Billions is maybe strong, but there are definitely people online who've made better neoprene mats than this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
It's not good. I wouldn't buy it for this, but I would probably buy it for the cards.
Yeah, lots of good comments about sleeves there, which I agree with wholeheartedly.
What were the sleeve comments? Let's have a look at the sleeve comments. So Wigglefish said, yes, you do need to. The problem with sleeves is if you don't have to keep re-sleeving everything all the time, you need to buy lots of them. That's pretty much why we didn't use them, because we swap a lot of our cards around, and it just became a pain in the backside. Lots of people saying use clear ones or use solid colour ones, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Gareth says, do you think the new gift pack cards will be released into new warband packs? No, I don't think so. I think they'll remain separate.
Yeah, Wigglefish is yeah.
Somebody posted something up that I think got blocked just then. Did you approve it, Robin? Or
I approved it. It was Andrew, because he used the word shite. Yes, he really liked the turn tokens. The turn tokens are best bit.
The turn tokens are actually they're quite nice actually. The turn tokens I do like, but the thing that annoys me about them is they're like a poker chip. So if anybody who's been to Vegas or been to anywhere where they played poker or blackjack, they're kind of made of that kind of plastic clay compound material. They're quite tactile to feel, but they don't have numbers on the other sides of the tokens. So you're like, why haven't you got like 1, 2, and 3 on the token? So when you turn it over, you can see you're on turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3. That just bugged me. It's like they were nearly there, and then they were like, "Should we put numbers on?" Yeah, fuck it. Who cares? And also, Andrew, don't worry about swearing. It really isn't a problem.
Isn't the word weapon, 2 hammers, range 2, reroll if sitting on an objective?
Yes, I think that one is.
Is that the
Guardian Glaive, I think.
Is it?
Guardian Glaive. Let me have a quick look. I have.
I don't think that's a deal breaker though. I mean, it's a good card, and I'm actually using it in my deck. But it's
but you guys don't need it. Don't worry about it.
but there are other things you could put in, and I'm not sure. I'm still not sure it's the best
Guardian
choice.
Glaive is in there. Yeah, it's nice for the reroll though. It's nice for the reroll. In fact, that in a Despoilers deck as well, with the other card, and then some other rerolls. Yeah. But this one's even better because it's reroll any number of attack dice. So
that's if you're on an objective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wiggleface is actually a pretty good buy for a new player. They don't seem to have thought through the whole thing. Yeah, I think they would agree with that. They don't seem to have.
They could have made it a little bit more expensive, and they could have made that board a neoprene mat, and it would have just been better. Basically,
yeah. I think mostly, to be honest, I don't know why I said we weren't going to talk about this, and we have. I think mostly I find it a bit insulting for people who've been there from the beginning. I don't necessarily include us in this because we've been very fortunate to because we do the channel, but people who've put a lot of money and effort into playing the game, and Games Workshop have basically repackaged 20 odd cards and giving you another 10 which you kind of want, and with a load of old crap that you don't want. And it's kind of like, well, I think the community deserve better than that.
Ed's got to go. Bye, Ed. See you soon.
Well, see you, Ed. And I also I think just generally games companies in general. I don't really run with the argument that you shouldn't make plastic figures because it's bad for the environment. Because at the end of the day, hobby's a hobby. I think I've been on this hobby horse before actually on another week. But they do need to think about how they package their stuff, and it is the board and the plastic thing that it comes in. That's just a waste.
It is, and the plastic packaging as well is terrible as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elnor said that the cards for his semi-aggro Snarlfangs deck, although brilliantly, Elnor, you've misspelt Snarlfangs twice and you've called them the Snarflangs, which I think is a much better war name. Warband name, the Snarflangs.
Absolutely, they should. I'm going to call them the Snarflangs from now on.
I think it's quite good for those kind of warbands.
See ya, Ike.
See ya, Ike. Yep, thank you for tuning in, and do come back and watch the rest later on. And do subscribe and all that good stuff so that you see when we're online again next. But every Tuesday, 10:15. Wigglefish also said it's actually...
But not Christmas Eve.
Sorry?
But not Christmas
Eve. No, why not? Why can we possibly? For two reasons. One, because it's my birthday, and I'm not doing it on my birthday.
Oh, yeah. Not Pete's birthday.
No, definitely not. Plus, we both have children, so Christmas Eve night is going to be spent doing many, many other things. None of them fun. Ishpek says that the board's good because you can cut out the circles and where the round tokens are supposed to go and use those as round cards. So you use the cardboard ones. I guess they have a number on them, but then they're black on the other side. So I'm still not really 100% sold on that idea. If they were purely black on the other side, if the logo on the back isn't in the way, then that might kind of work because you could have them. You could have them black side up, and then you could turn them over so you have the numbers. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, possibly. And then they didn't need to bother creating those tokens then instead. Ishpek also says he intends to buy a second gift pack so he can have enough round tokens to use them as activation tokens. I can see that. Yeah, that could be quite cool.
Yeah,
that's one good reason for getting 2 packs. I'm not sure there are many others, but yeah, that's a valid one. And then one of our possibly most head scratchy questions from Andrew was, what's been our favourite matchup of all time? We were umming and ahhing and scratching our heads over that.
I think it was the Spurs Arsenal semi-final in 1991. Oh, sorry.
Dave Christie says, look at burger tokens instead. Do like those burger tokens.
Yeah, those burger tokens are nice, but I feel like postage to the UK is phenomenally expensive. But it's a while since I've looked.
I don't think they're that bad.
They're not okay. I might miserable.
Plus, they're really light because you're just buying the resin dots. Effectively, you have to supply your own pennies to stick them onto.
Yeah. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong then.
But yeah, they're not too bad. They're not too bad at all, I think. What was the next question? Our favourite matches of all time. So
yeah.
Robin, did you want to go first?
Ribwatch versus the Gits we enjoyed recently. Yep. I don't know if that was all time.
That was a crazy match.
That was a good match. I think anything with the Gits in, actually, apart from that one where you absolutely munched through Iron Skulls.
No, we talking about that was a great match.
Enjoyed that. I think any of the games with the Gits in have been good fun, and I feel like we've had a really good game with the Thorns and maybe the Gits, or possibly Sepulchral Guard. I feel like that was a good game.
Yeah, I did like our recent Thundrick versus Hunt best of 3.
Yeah, that was good. We've had some cracking games on Patreon.
Yep.
Not to plug Patreon.
I think all our best ones are on Patreon, really.
They've had the best moments in games have been in the two return legs that we have on Patreon.
I think quite often that's because we play the first match where we're kind of getting the feel of the warbands and the decks and trying to work out how they play. Yeah. And then the second game, we've both kind of got more of a fixture on what we actually want to do. And we know how the deck works a bit more, and the next game gets a bit more cagey. Sadly, the second game for our Thundrick Hunt deck match hasn't been done yet because I accidentally, for some reason, we didn't capture battle cam. We only got the top down view, but I will try and do that one at some point, just because there's some nice play in there. And the next question to this is: will we see any matches against other Shadespire or Beastgrave content creators? Well, I don't think that's a no from us. I definitely think we would like to do that.
I've written no.
Sorry?
No, I'm joking. I've written no. No, I'm only joking. I've put no, but maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we have no plans to, but it wouldn't be something I wouldn't. It's only to do with time and setup rather than actual no desire to do it. I'd love to.
It's hard to try and convince other people to come travel all the way to us to sit in our freezing garage.
Yeah. Well, unless we could do it over the internet, but it just involves. It's too much like logistical headaches to do.
Yeah.
But it's something I would love to do, but whether we ever get around to it, I don't know.
It would be something I'd love to do more of, to get people in. Yeah. Maybe with the advent of Warhammer Underworlds Online. Maybe if we do some Patreon only TTS games, because we can't really put those on YouTube, stuff like that. Maybe we could possibly do something.
Definitely like to do it.
Yeah, would definitely love to. I always enjoy whenever I end up having chats with other content creators and other gamers out there, like these chats where we have with you guys online now. Always love having those chats. Can talk about the game for absolute ages.
I don't know if I dreamt it or I was just daydreaming about setting up a little thing in somewhere centrally near London or something and just having people just playing and recording. That would be quite a nice thing to do.
Somewhere like there's a couple of places in London, like there's the Dark Sphere, isn't there?
Yeah, I just thought maybe running an event or something, but it's too. In my current situation, it's just too much like hard work.
Especially December.
Dead Hands asked where we're from. We are from just south of London, so not far from
Yeah.
Gatwick Airport.
In the grand scheme of most other countries, we're practically on London's doorstep. As far as the UK is
Yes,
concerned, you're about half a day's
it's
trek
about
away.
4 hours away.
But yes, we're not even 20 miles from London. I think if you as the crow flies on a map.
The sign just up the road says Westminster 18 miles from
Oh right, okay, there we go then. So there we go, less
Yeah,
than 20 miles away. So
yeah.
yeah, not far from London at all. But travelling anywhere in the UK from anywhere else in the UK is fraught at best. Although
Especially this
I
time.
can't remember who it was. I was chatting to somebody, and they said that they live in South Wales. I think it might have been, and they were quite happy to drive down to play some games and then stay in an Airbnb. So
Uh,
there's options. There's options there.
it was Matt, wasn't it?
Might have been
Yeah, it
Matt.
was
Yeah,
Matt.
yeah.
When we win glass, they will come. Andrew says. I don't think we're going to win glass, but I mean, it's always really nice to meet people when we go to the Grand Clash, which actually now is only a month away.
Ah,
Um, and
how is it?
with Christmas in the
How is it only a month away? It's just a month and
and that's
10
mad,
days,
isn't
isn't
it?
it? 40 days.
Man, I have a feeling that when I pack my bag and go to leave on the Friday, my wife's going to say, "You're going to do what?" It's like, "Well, I have told you several times,
I
darling."
did tell you this several months ago.
I don't think she's really have taken in how close it is.
Crossrail
Crossrail might help. We're the wrong
about
side.
yeah, we are on the wrong side.
Yeah, we're too. We're north south rather than
But
east
it
west.
might help people get across to sort of London to then get down. I don't know.
Ah,
Maybe.
Dead Hands is from the Medway towns. Is that Kent?
That Kent. Getting trains does make the whole thing seem much further. It does for some reason. Adding trains into it seems to just make it harder than
Yeah, but it's
driving.
much easier to read and edit videos. If you do that while driving, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's the one good thing the train's for. That's where I do all of my video editing. That's it.
Yeah.
I also thought maybe we could try and pick a day sometime next year. I'll take a day off work. Maybe we'll try and find a place we could rent a hall or something,
Oh,
and
Pete.
then there'll be some candles. No, not a hotel room, Robin.
Not mine
Not a
too.
hotel room. We'll get some lard. There'll be,
That's the next question.
Anyway, but yeah, I thought maybe we might try and organise a little meetup at some point next year. I'll take a day off, or maybe it'll be a Saturday because that'll be easier for more people. Maybe I don't know. We'll have to see how we get on with that one. The next question was: do we sell custom T-shirts, and how can you buy merchandise? Well, I think Andrew is being very lovely and giving us a nice little sideways promo shot there to our Teespring store.
Yeah, which is a bit out of date.
It is a little bit out of date, but I'm just slapping in the
But
comments.
we do sell mugs, as I may have indicated. And I think most of you know that anyway, but we do sell mugs. And we ought to get a new mug made, actually, Pete, with the new orangey logo.
I was going
on
to do that. I was going to get a black mug done with the orangey logo on it, with the orangey logo on the back and front, so it was suitable for both left and right-handed people. And I was going to buy you one for Christmas, but I sadly haven't done that.
Put your shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
You haven't done it.
But I've got you something else, and I'm not telling you what it is yet.
I've got you something too.
Ooh.
We'll have to wait till the Christmas video next week.
I'm not sure if mine's going to arrive in time for that, so I might just have to give it to you near.
Well, mine has. Mine's already here.
See, this is the problem. I'm just not organised.
It's hard. It's hard to be organised this time of year.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've digressed. So yes, there is stuff, and if anybody wants stuff, do let us know, and we can make it. But it's kind of having that impetus because a few people have bought stuff, and I know Ed's bought some things,
It's not as badly.
and it's really nice when people do, but it's kind of like it's not very many people buy it, so then you kind of forget about it, and then they never send you updates of what's going on. So
Andrew, I've heard a similar thing that Robin likes tea, not coffee. I'm not sure I heard that from though.
I will drink coffee, especially if it's bought for me.
Anything free, never going to say no to that.
Condemn the shirt. We do need that shirt, but again, that might be Patreon only thing because I don't think we've had blah 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 blah.
It is worth pointing out that if you do want a shirt with some text on it or something like that, and you don't have the wherewithal to do it yourself, because most people can do this themselves online these days, but if you do want us to do it for you, do let us know what you want. If you've got an image that's not obviously an IP copyrightable image or anything like that, or you just want some text, do let us know. We can do that because it's free for us to set them up in the store. Obviously, you can buy it off the store and they'll post it to you wherever you are and all that kind of good stuff.
Happy to do it, and if it's a really good idea, we're happy to send it to other people
Exactly. And we do have currently £44 in credit on our Teespring store. Most that's probably when you made those cushions the other year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably. But that's to collect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, no, I've collected the money for that.
No, there's still £44 in there.
Well, we've obviously had some
Yeah.
sales then. This is the thing. It's just sitting in the background doing nothing. So unless you made some sweatshirts that you were talking about,
Well, I made them, but I didn't buy them. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Anyway, we don't need to talk about that
yeah.
online. Wiggle Fish said we could set up a cam game. We should do that. It's for me. The problem is my main playing experience is in the garage, and the internet connection in there is not very good, and it's effing cold.
Yeah. Although what we could possibly do is we could utilise my living room area. We could use the dining room one day. You could come over like we used to do when we did the live games, because we only need a webcam or two and stuff. And I've got the connection there, so that might be something we could try and do.
I think once the New Year's out of the way, we've got some family changes occurring. Once all that's sorted, I'm basically killing my family.
I was going to say, you mentioned that online. I'm not sure it's going to look good now when all your family disappears in a couple of months' time.
Well, my wife is changing to home working, and so that's going to be a big change. And once that's all bedded in, then I'll have a bit more free time, I hope. So then we can, I'll maybe be able to plan some stuff ahead, which would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's question 8?
Sorry.
Question 8.
Question 8 is. You've got it written on that bit of paper of yours. How is the?
It just. I've just got the answers.
Okay.
I haven't got.
How is the Grand Clash practice coming along, even if it's just theory work?
That's why it says badly as well. It just says badly. I couldn't remember what the question was.
I just put like a sort of a grimace face next to mine, like yeah. Fan heaters. We have got a fan heater in there. Last week it was so cold out there. The fan heater was sort of blowing out moderately warm air rather than actually hot air. Yes, Grand Clash practice. We've played one game each with our deck against the Grimwatch one, haven't we? And that was it.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. Actually, and I have to say, I played really well with the Grimwatch, so that's that's going well.
Although it was good to see that both of us didn't do too badly against that Grimwatch deck.
No, we didn't. No.
I mean, it helps that we built our own decks and that the opponent was playing with the deck they'd never played before. So, that wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad.
No. Okay, it's coming up to quarter past.
Yes, well, we have just about hit the limit on all our questions as well. We have had our midnight with Marlowe question time. The last one is: do you think they'll bring out any more combo card upgrades? If so, what would you like to see on them? I personally hope they don't. Really?
Do you think?
Well, they probably will.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think they will, because that's obviously their new mechanic, and I think there's going to be something with some movement involved. So it's to create a sort of ready for action light. So sort of like if you use this attack, you can move afterwards or something like that. But something like that. I could be wrong, but I think there'll be something that you can move. Or maybe there could be a sword breaker or something. That'd be quite good. Yeah.
One thing they haven't done, and they had it in the Dreadfane. When Dreadfane came out, they had a number of cards in there, which was give this person an extra action type to do various things. And that would be heal yourself of 2 wounds or do various stuff. And we sort of speculated at the time that maybe that meant that they were going to start bringing out more cards to give you various actions in the game. And they haven't really done that. So I don't know if they maybe still have some cards that they're going to do that with. Maybe.
Sort of like drink a potion.
That kind of thing. But there were ones like, I can't remember now, but the Banshee... The Banshees had a couple of different cards that did things instead of their normal actions. They could do the stuff and it would heal them of a wound and put them on guard or things like that. So,
I suppose they're similar to the tomes. A lot of the tomes have that.
A little bit, yeah. The tomes do. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But there's not many in Beastgrave, or I'm not sure if there are any in Beastgrave yet that aren't potions.
No, you've got the Lost Pages have these new spell actions on them, don't they? Which is quite interesting.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
And then the one that you can do one of them you can do is a reaction. It's quite nice because you can sort of do it more than once in a turn. Well, you can do the other one more than once in a turn, but you can do it. The reaction you can sort of do. I don't know how many times you could do it. If you were playing Snarfangs, I don't know whether you could do it more times. I can't remember how. I don't remember the wording on the card, but yeah, you could. There's basically extra spell, which is good for those objectives where you need to cast 6 spells.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's that objective that specifically is cast 6 spells, and before it was like that's nonsense. You're never going to be able to do that, but now that's actually feasibly.
It's becoming more possible. I'm still not sure it's very easy.
Can you fill 10 gambits up with just spells now? You must be able to.
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, that would be the thing. Just take 10 spells.
Well, Andrew's waiting for a lost page objective. I feel like there should be a joke in there about not being able to find it,
but it's too late. We're not that quick.
Yeah, I can't quite put it together.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. Well done. They need a binder. That's what they need.
Yeah.
And a hole punch.
A hole punch. Lost. Yeah.
So there you go, guys.
Any other questions?
Yeah, if you've got any other questions, do shout. Otherwise, we are hitting the hour mark, and we probably will call it a night there.
Time for bed.
Now, the Underworlds Online has not. We haven't got our beta keys for that yet, but hopefully, before we wake up tomorrow morning, we will have them. I think there was a mention. I think they said about 8 o'clock that it would be in about 4 to 6 hours' time. So
it's really great that they're doing it, but it's like, why are you doing it just before Christmas?
Yeah,
I've got my family coming down on the weekend.
The worst week.
And my son's birthday soon as well, so it's like, the beta testing are basically like, is there time to switch the computer on?
That'll be the beta. It took too long to install. Yeah. Marking it down.
Exactly.
It is a bit like that. This is the busiest week of the busiest month of the year for me.
So it's the busiest week of the year, isn't it?
I think so. I think it is, and I'm still hoping that we can. I mean, if I've got the game by tomorrow night, as I'll be all of my lonesome, I might try and stream a game online of it. If there's anybody out there in Patreon land or anything that want to maybe give me a call, maybe we can do something on that.
I'm sitting right here.
I'm right here, you two-timing bastard! But,
just because I'm not in the room doesn't mean I can't hear you.
Oh crap, is that what this thing does? Oh no! All those things I
really enjoy your questions, Andrew. You always ask things that would never occur to me to answer, so it's really good.
Andrew, without you, we wouldn't have a live show.
Because you run the live chat. And if Games Workshop don't drop a product, then we're looking to you, Andrew. Somebody somewhere asked, I think, I've just realised I didn't answer it, when do we think the next Warband will be out? I reckon end of January, beginning of February. I'm hoping to God it's not just before the next Grand Clash, but I don't think it will be.
I'm hoping that they don't release anything new now. Between now and the Grand Clash, I hope there's nothing.
Yeah. I don't think there will be, but if they do it like the week before or even the weekend of, that'd be a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, they've got form for doing this, haven't they?
Particularly a week, it'd be a nightmare for you, Pete, because I get the stuff sent to me and I'll have the stuff and you won't.
Yeah, well, that's what happened with I can't even remember the Powers Unbound. Powers Unbound that happened. You got them, and I think I had to play with. I had to use Wigglefish, not Wigglefish. I had to use Underworlds DB to actually get the card text and then proxy in other cards with it written down, just so I could try the cards out. And then I got them about the Tuesday before the actual Grand Clash or something like that. So. Got to bust out about 2 of them, use them maybe for 3 or 4 games at most, and then they got banned.
And they were banned. Or restricted. Restricted, we should say.
Yes, restricted.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm falling asleep now.
We're both falling asleep. We are at the end, I feel. We have hit our limit. But hopefully now you've got us live. You've got Robin back in the room.
Ooh,
and we are,
is it better?
Hopefully it is. I reckon the quality is much better now than it used to be when I was running on the Mac.
Oh the stream's good. Yeah, I just meant having my face. Is it good? Yeah.
Well, we can always go back to angry Robin. Isn't he rugged? So
cold.
That was just cold. That was I can't feel my extremities.
One of my testicles has just dropped off.
But how would you tell? The cold would just be... Yeah, anyway. Right, we're going to call it a night there, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Do subscribe, follow us, like us, all that good stuff. Give us the thumbs up and all that. Hope you enjoyed it all. And do come back next week. We'll be here next Tuesday.
Yeah, it'll be the last one, probably the last one of the year.
Probably, yeah. I mean, when's the... What? I'm trying to work out the dates between Christmas and New Year now, so...
Well, because the week after is Christmas Eve, and the week after that's New Year's Eve. And if we ain't doing one Christmas Eve, which I don't ever do very much Christmas
I
New Year's
never do
Eve, but
think
I'm not
New
sure
Year's Eve.
people want to bring in the New Year with us. Old Lang Syne with the Ages of
What?
Sigmar.
Yeah, we should do that. We should start at 11, run through till midnight, say Happy New Year's. Now, feck off.
Yeah, except for the Australian viewers will already be in the
That's
new
true.
year, and
And
so I think
anybody
the
from the US will be.
German ones will go in as we start, and the Americans will be like, "What are you talking
Yeah,
about?"
yeah, that's true. But anybody in the UK,
Anyway, everybody say goodbye. Everybody say goodbye.
they're trying to give us a hint. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye. Shut up now. Goodbye.
Bye,
So we'll see you
everyone.
soon,
See
guys.
you.
Bye.
Bye.